Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Lemex Effects. I apologize that I had not been around for a while and I have not posted any videos. I had to get some things in order. In any case, now that we have spoken on that, I am going to do something a little bit different. I am not going to speak about Final Fantasy X at this time. I am going to speak on something newer, something like Star Wars. Specifically, we're going to speak about the Force and whether or not it is anything similar to the Bible's God. Now, I know that many will say, I believe so. After all, they worship the Force as God in the universe. However, we have not covered whether there are any similarities whatsoever. Alright, so let's get started. Now first, let's get a few similarities, specifically the name. So the name of the Force literally just means the power, the thing that moves something else. So the Force is the power that rules over other things. Basically, in summary, the Force is like saying the authority. I have authority over something. And that is basically what God is, a force that with his power can manipulate everything. Actually, let's forget about connecting the Force to God for a moment. Let's just focus on the name of the Force and how it is similar to being a God in general. Let's say the force of different things. If I have the force of lightning as part of my power, then I am the God of thunder and lightning, like Thor. If I am the God of, let's say, sickness, I can force sickness upon people. If I'm the god of fire, I control the force of flames. If I am the god of dreams, I can force dreams upon people. If I'm the god of the sun, like Apollo, let's see if I can get a picture of that somewhere. If I'm the god of the sun, then I can force the sun to move upon a certain course. Basically, the god of something can force or move something to something else. The same way in Star Wars, using the Force allows you to move objects.
Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
The Force?
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
Now with that, we have covered that God in the real world would be the force to move or control all things, because he says he's a God of everything. I, the Lord, do all things, which we're going to cover later. Watch. However, some would say, okay, I understand that the force, being able to move things, is basically like God. However, doesn't the force have a dark side? Like if we go back to that clip that you were at earlier,
Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
it says, hey, there's a dark side, but there's no dark side to God, right? Or else wouldn't that make him evil? And to that, I would say,
you don't know the power of the dark side.
Okay, no, seriously. It really does say let's check Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. Are you ready for this? It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So basically, he says, I create the light side and I create the dark side. And if there's good or evil, he controls all of it. He's literally the God of everything. And furthermore, in Amos chapter 3 and verse, where is it? It says, in verse 6, Amos chapter 3 verse 6 says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it? So basically, God is saying, listen, there are all sorts of wars, because the trumpet is meant to inform you that there's war coming, or that we're going to war. So he's saying there are wars or evil that are done in the world, and God either let or made that happen. Now, of course, someone would say, hey, that's not fair. That would make God evil if he's the one who made the evil happen. And I would say, no, he's not evil. He's no more evil than George Lucas for creating the Sith. Because if you don't have a Sith, you don't have an evil force for the heroes to fight, you don't have a story. So if you want an interesting story, then you need to create good and evil. Literally every form of media that has a protagonist, no, not every form of media, most forms of media where there are good and evil forces in there, whether it's Marvel, DC, virtually any book, what J.K. Rowling, what the Harry Potter series, or any story where there's a hero, there's got to be good and there has to be evil for the good person to defeat. In fact, the Bible even says that. And to put a stamp on this, I'm going to read a passage actually from the Bible where God virtually says this thing. So it's in a book that is called Sirach, but is really written as Ecclesiasticus. But short, it is Sirach. So it is Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verses 13 through 15. It says, "As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to him as liketh him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another." So God is saying this: as the creator of this world, I created good and I created evil for whatever purposes I had. The same way George Lucas created the Jedi and the Sith for whatever purposes he had. The good is set against the evil, and they're always a two, one against the other. That's how the Bible's written. That's how the world is written. That's why we have people who try to strive for good, and there are evil people that we have to try to put in jail or kill. That is why everything is like that, because God says good is set against evil. Now, with that being said, there's a question that I feel obligated to answer. It's a question that I had as a child, most people who went to church had as children, and a lot of us want to know it, but we ask our pastors and they don't answer it. And that's why I feel obligated to answer, because even though it's a little off topic for me talking about Star Wars, it's on topic because I'm talking about God making good and evil. And that question is, why did God create the devil? And I know this video is not about that. It's about Star Wars, but I'm pretty sure that someone wants to know. And whenever we ask the pastors, they say something like,
"We understand that the Force works in mysterious ways.
But I will not leave you hanging. I will not leave you ignorant. I am actually going to get you the answer out of the Bible." So back to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, chapter 39 and verse 28. All right, ready? Let's go. "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. And in time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them." So the spirits, like the devil, evil spirits, were created for vengeance. All right, it'll go on to explain. Verse 29, "Fire and hail, and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance." So when you see fire shooting up all over different forests and stuff, taking out crops and stuff, or even when fire falls from the sky, hail that just won't stop, people starving to death because of famines, because there's no food, all of that was vengeance. It means God is angry with someone, and he sent out spirits to basically stop water or stop food or to create hail to punish someone. Verse 30 says, "Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and a sword, punishing the wicked to destruction." So he will send beasts after you. That's why tigers will go in and go eat people right out of cities. Or when it says scorpions and serpents, he'll send scorpions and serpents after you. Or the sword. The sword means he will make war be waged against you. So when you see all these wars popping up and people are starving and getting shot down and murdered and such, is because God is saying, I am angry with someone, so here's an entire war Now, I think nowadays there's a war that's happening between a certain few countries, and people are wondering, why is this happening? Again, because God is angry with someone and he wants people to die for it. Now, why he's angry, I'll cover that in maybe another video. But in any case, I'm going to the next verse. Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon the earth. When need is, and when their time is come, they will not transgress his word. What does this mean? It means the devil was created to punish evildoers. That's his entire job. And he works very hard at it. For example, humans have free will. We will say we want to create good or evil. We're going to follow God or not obey God. The devil says, I have one job. God says go kill him. That's what I do. I'm not fighting against God. That's what you guys made up. In fact, God sent me out to see whether someone will actually believe that lie. And if you believe it, I'm going to punish you for it. Because you're not supposed to believe that lie. I do whatever he tells me to. That's how the devil works. It's like having a spy go out to say, hey, go to this organization and see if they're willing to turn against me with a little push. If they do, rat them out so we can arrest them. That's why God created the devil. God created the devil is to see who is being evil. And if you are evil, God says, deal with them. That's all it is.
What is this place?
The last stop for the resistance.
Parademons!
Another rebel against Lord Darkseid.
Rebel? I never thought of rebelling until I heard you speak.
Oh, but you were susceptible. Take this traitor to the re-education center.
No! No!
Very good, Ma'alafa Ark. That's the 16th traitor you've arrested. My father is pleased.
And so, that's just the way God is. God says, hey, I created all things. I know what's going to be good, and I know what's going to be evil because I made it. In my infinite wisdom, I know how the story will go. It's not like I made them evil from the start, usually. It's because I made them upright, but I know what they're going to do because I know how the story will end. So what happens is the devil is made so that when you choose evil, then God will give you what you chose. If you say, I'm going to do good, then there are good spirits to reward you. If you say, I'm going to do evil, then there are spirits who will punish you. And in the midst of that, he will try to send you spirits to warn you not to do the evil. They will say something like,
you must choose! Don't listen to him, Anakin!
But if you doubt it, then you can go ahead and comment below so that we can get a discussion going. Or you can share it. Actually, comment and share so that we can get this discussion going. And I might just make a new video based off of your responses if you have any lingering questions or doubts. Alright? But for now, I have brought the scriptures and I've shown how the Bible's God is how the Force of Star Wars is similar to the Bible's God. In that there is a dark side and a light side to what he does upon the earth. Not that God has any darkness in him, because he has no darkness in him. But, if I have light, I can make darkness by taking the light away. It's that simple. So I've shown how he controls the light and the dark, and that he's a force of all things. All right? But until next time, this is the end of this session of Lemex Effects.